All right, everyone. The question is, what is the empirical formula of a compound containing 18.4% carbon, 21.5% nitrogen, and 60.1% potassium? First step is write down everything the problem gives us. We have three elements here. We have carbon, we have nitrogen, and we have potassium. We were given the percentages for each of those elements. So let's say if we had 100 grams of this carbon, nitrogen, potassium compound, we would have these exact percentages as grams for these three elements. So again, if we had 100 grams of this compound, 18.4% being carbon, that would mean 18.4 grams. For nitrogen, 21.5% would be 21.5 grams, and potassium, the rest, 60.1% potassium, which again, if we had 100 grams, would be 60.1 grams. Next step, we want to convert these grams to moles so we can get our mole ratios. To do that, we are going to multiply by a conversion factor. We're going to multiply by a fraction. Okay? We're going to want to cancel out our grams and be left with moles. So grams will go on the bottom and moles will go on top for each of these conversions. We need to know the relationship between grams and moles for these elements. To find that, we look on the periodic table. For carbon, 12.01 grams is 1 mole. For nitrogen, 14.01 grams is 1 mole. And for potassium, 39.10 grams is 1 mole. So we have our problem set up. Our units are going to cancel. All of our grams will go away, and we will be left with moles. So by doing the math, we get for carbon, 18.4 times 1 divided by 12.01 is 1.532. We're left with the unit of moles. For nitrogen, 21.5 times 1 divided by 14.01 is 1.535 moles. And for potassium, 60.1 times 1 divided by 39.1 is 1.537 moles. Before we do the next step, looking at these three numbers, they're all pretty much the same number. They're very similar. That tells us that this is probably a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. In this formula, the subscript of each of these elements should be the same. Since those are the only three elements in this formula, they should all be 1-to-1-to-1. But just to make sure, let's do the math. In the next step, we divide by the smallest of these numbers. 1.532 is the smallest, so we're going to divide by 1.532. Technically that would be moles. 1.532, 1.532, 1.532 divided by 1.532 is 1. 1.535 divided by 1.532 is 1.002. 1.537 divided by 1.532 is 1.003. Last step is to round to whole numbers, because we know these have to be whole numbers. 1.002 is 1. 1.003 is also 1. So in the end, again, these are all 1-to-1 ratio for this formula. So our final formula will be K1 C1N1. We don't write the 1, so it is just KCN, otherwise known as potassium cyanide. Alright everyone, if you want to see another example, click in the top right. Please like this video if it helped you in any way. Feel free to look in the doobly-doo below for additional help and resources. Please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified for new videos, and thank you so much for watching.